Hey guys, my name is Matumio, and today we have learned some new information about Battlefield 4. Over the last couple of days now, DICE has been releasing some details about a new map that we've never seen before. They've gone into some specifics about their game modes, and there's also been some stuff about the beta that I think you guys will find very interesting. And so first up, we have learned of a new map called Zavod 311, and this is going to be set in an old abandoned Soviet tank factory from the Cold War era. And what's cool about this, and kind of the twist, is that there is going to be a warhead somewhere on the map that we can arm and then detonate, and which is going to have a dramatic effect on the map itself. You guys know that DICE is going pretty crazy with this Levolution, where there's going to be something on the map that you can blow up or change that is going to have a pretty dramatic effect on the way that you approach the objectives. And apparently this warhead is going to be that Levolution. And what's cool about this is that I think we've actually seen this Levolution in action. In the past trailers, we didn't actually know what map this was on, but as you guys can see here, it looks like we're in an abandoned factory of some sort, and that is a massive pillar kind of tumbling to the ground. And also, what DICE is telling us is that if you are someone who likes to play as an infantry unit and you do not like to deal with enemy vehicles, apparently if you drop this pillar down, it is going to make it much more difficult for vehicles to maneuver around that location. So if, let's say, there's a bunch of objectives in there that you really want to hunker down and defend throughout the entire round, and you just do not want to deal with enemy tanks, then a side objective for you would be to go after this warhead, make sure it goes off so that pillar lands, and then you will leave enemy vehicles that try to go in there a little bit more vulnerable. So that's a nice little aspect there. We also now have confirmation that there will be 2 different maps that you can flood with water. A lot of people are kind of speculating that there was only going to be one, and from the gameplay that we saw, maybe one section of that map would be flooded because you take down the levee, and then the other would be because you take out the dam. But now we know that there is a map called Langkang Dam, and the other one is called Flood Zone. We have seen gameplay from both of them. Flood Zone is going to be pretty much in a very run-down urban environment where you're going to start off with vehicles on the ground. You're going to have to kind of maneuver through all of these urban rundown buildings, but if you do take down the levee, everything gets flooded, and then you're kind of hopping from building top to rooftop from rooftop. We haven't really seen too much of Langkang Dam. All we've really seen is the dam kind of falling, but it is in more of an urban setting. It kind of looks a little bit more modern, a little bit more clean. So we're going to kind of have to wait and see how that dam and how that Levolution is really going to play out. As for the game modes, we now know some very interesting details about Defuse. If you guys aren't aware, Defuse is a new mode being added in Battlefield 4, which is going to act very similar or pretty much identical to the way that Search and Destroy works in the Call of Duty franchise, or the equivalent to Counter-Strike. And so there's going to be 2 different teams. It's going to be 5 versus 5 or squad versus squad. And the objective of the offensive team is to take a bomb and arm an objective and then blow it into smithereens, and if they're able to pull that off, then they win the round. But the other way that you can win is to completely kill the enemy team. If you die in Defuse or in any game mode similar to this, you only get 1 life. So if you get taken out, that's it. You have to wait, you have to spectate your team and hope that they're competent enough to kill everyone or to arm the objective and win the match for you. But now we know, and this is where things get very interesting, is that you can only revive your ally once. A lot of people were kind of speculating and thinking that this mode would be completely dominated by medics, and it probably will still be dominated by medics because it's going to be very important for you to keep your allies' health topped off, and if they do go down that first time, to get them back up. But now that we know that you can only be revived once, hopefully this will open up the door for all of the other kits to make an appearance. And one kit that I have a feeling will be very popular is the Recon. Like having motion balls or having like the tugs and the MAV with a carbine. I think that is going to be a very popular loadout for Defuse. But also it means that you're still going to need to play very tactically. You're not going to be able to run around like an idiot and assume that your allies are going to be able to get you up every single time. Like if you get down once, you're okay, but if you're out in the open, like you're screwed at that point. Like no one is going to risk or even try to get you back up, because if they die in the process, and even if they are able to get you back up, You can't just go through that res train process like you do in Battlefield 3. Like both of you guys are gonna be down for good. So you're gonna need to play tactically, and I think that's a good thing because this is meant to be a very competitive game mode, and if that wasn't in there and there was all these res trains, I think that would kinda diminish that significantly. But one thing that I wanted to mention really quickly, and I don't know if this is a typo or not, is that the description for Squad Deathmatch says that it's designed for 16 players. And if my math is right, that means that there is going to be 3 squads that will be completely full, and then one guy all by his lonesome, taking on the world all by himself, trying to win the match. And so like I said, this just could be kind of ripped maybe from the Battlefield 3's description where that makes sense, where there's going to be 4 squads. So maybe they will bump this up to 20 players or drop it down to 15, so all of the squads are even at that point. But where things get really interesting is that it says that the commander mode is optional. And what this could mean is that if you want to play really tactically with 5 of your friends, one of them being the commander, then that type of gameplay could be available. I don't know how many servers will run this option because you basically will mean that every single squad needs a commander, and if one of them doesn't, then you're going to be at a pretty substantial disadvantage. So we'll kind of have to see how things play out, but that could be kind of a very interesting take on Squad Deathmatch. DICE has also kind of given us some more information about the beta, and one thing that I know some people out there are going to be excited about, especially the people that enjoy dog tags and collecting things, is that if you participate, you are going to get a dog tag called Was There Did That. Not really all that impressive, and it's not really going to be all that exclusive, since if you basically participate, which I'm assuming millions of people are going to do, then you will get this dog tag. But as for the beta itself, the open beta section of it is going to start on October 4th and go through until October 15th. And this is going to be for everyone. You don't even need to have Battlefield 3. You don't even need to purchase Battlefield 4. If you own an Xbox 360, a PlayStation 3, or a PC, and you can connect to the internet, then you can play the open beta. But if you are a hardcore Battlefielder and you cannot wait to get your hands on Battlefield 4, there are a couple of ways that you can get into the exclusive beta that starts on October 1st. The first way is to pre-order or buy the Battlefield 4 Digital Deluxe Edition. The other way is to be a Battlefield 3 Premium member, and the final way is to have been an owner of Medal of Honor Warfighter Limited Edition. But DICE also goes on and explains that they are really trying to take a proactive approach at cracking down on hackers and cheaters. And the way that they're going about that in the upcoming game is that they're going to have Punkbuster, which is a pretty standard anti-cheat software that a lot of first-person shooters have, but it's also going to be running alongside Game Blocks. And from what I've gathered, Game Blocks is kind of an algorithm that monitors how players kill other people on the battlefield, but also how quickly they kill them. So if you all of a sudden kill 20 people with a defibrillator, you're probably going to get kicked from the server and maybe banned as well. I don't know exactly how it functions, but basically it's just another kind of fail-safe to keep hackers out of servers, which is a very, very good thing. But yeah, guys, that is about it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. I quickly wanted to thank LevelCap for providing today's awesome Battlefield 4 gameplay. He was kind enough to lend it to me. But let me know what you guys thought about these details. Are you excited that Defuse is only going to have 1 revive? Can you not wait to play on all of the new maps? Let me know down below in the comment section. But until tomorrow, guys, have a good one and take it easy.